Hey everyone, don't forget to stay tuned till after the video if you want to find out how to support me or where to follow me on social media. And also, if you like this video and like what I do, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for choosing me, and on with the video.
Guess what time it is? It's time for our quarterly FATPHOBIC dog comment. Let's break it down again, shall we? I know I'm not going to change this person's opinion. They're going to be a jerk and that's their prerogative. They can be whoever they want to be. But for those of you who are curious about this and want to learn more, let's talk about it. When I talk about fat phobia in the dog community, a lot of people have such a poor and biased understanding of what fat phobia is that they assume that what I mean, they think that fat phobia is getting your feelings hurt, as if them saying that your dog is fat is going to hurt your dog's feelings. But of course, that's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, our dogs don't speak enough English or understand the concept of fat phobia to care if someone calls them fat. But their owners do. This culture of fat phobia exists everywhere we go. It's why some dog owners feel pressured to buying expensive diet dog foods and low-calorie treats. It can even change the way people choose to train their dogs. Rather than going with a method that's right for them, some people feel pressured to choose training methods that don't involve treats because they are so concerned with the possibility that their dog might become fat. And it can even show up in the medical care we receive for our dogs. Veterinarians are not exempt from living in a fat-phobic culture, and that does affect their decision-making. Now, obviously, no dogs were bred to be fat. But also, genetics do impact weight, body type, body size, muscle tone, etc. Backyard breeders tend to not pay attention to the genetics of their dogs. This is going to impact how they gain weight. And don't forget that 99% of the dogs in humane societies and shelters are going to be coming from backyard breeders, which means their genetics are likely going to be poor. There are so many factors that could affect a dog's weight or their ability to lose weight. And yet, so many people feel qualified to shame dog owners for having a fat dog without knowing anything about the why. And that feeling of entitlement to shame owners for having a fat dog is fat phobia. Because weight does not equal health. Weight is not the sole or best predictor of a dog's health. There are skinny dogs that are very unhealthy and there are fat dogs that are doing just fine. No one is saying that health is not important or that we can't have conversations about weight. But y'all's insistence that you should be entitled to shame people for the weight of their dog proves my point. Fat phobia exists in the dog community. And if you're still not sure, I got a whole playlist for you.
So first of all, I am deeply frustrated because I previously recorded this whole video. I went on a 15-minute tangent and fun fact, my main desktop computer decided I didn't need any audio whatsoever. So the other problem is that I don't know how often you've watched it, but when I go out on a tangent, I kind of get everything out and then it leaves my head. But thankfully, this one got me so mad that I'm pretty sure I can bring all those emotions right back. So as you just saw at the beginning of this video, there is a young woman that believes it is FATPHOBIC to tell owners that it's wrong for having fat animals. Yeah, that's because it is. Okay? Literally, people who have fat animals typically fall into a few separate categories. Either they are someone who emotionally feeds their pets because it makes them feel emotionally better, or they are terrible at purchasing food for their pets and they do not exercise their pets. Either way, it is shameful. You should be ashamed. Want to know why? I used to own fat pets. Okay? Animals are not designed to be overweight. Small breeds tend to get overweight purely because their metabolism is still running like they're a big dog. We created dogs, okay? We created them roughly 15,000 years ago, and over the last 15,000 years, we have transformed them from large, immense animals that hunt in packs to things where their tongues can't even fit in their mouths. Now more than ever, I am so upset that I have not finished my animal videos. I have them recorded. I just need to edit them, and I really wish I had. Guys, diet is so important in animals. Animals don't belong having carbs. That's a human thing, okay? Animals should belong having their proteins, their base nutrients. There is a lot of things that dogs and cats require. Carbs are rarely one of them. Yes, they are a building block, but not like they are for us. No. Nay. And this person sitting here saying, oh, well, it's shaming owners into spending more money. Fuck you! You should be spending more money on your pet. You should be putting the most money you can into your pet. I'm sorry, unpopular opinion, but that is a creature that you brought into there completely voluntarily. You own that animal. It is living in your space. Why would you not give it the best nutrition possible? Why would you not make sure that your animal has the best health? You know, looking at me, a lot of people sit there and they make a lot of assumptions about my weight. I have multiple videos on why I weigh what I weigh and what's gone on and things like that. But if you look at my animals, the only animals that are overweight are either the animals that snuck around, which is only one, and stole food from kittens, which is naturally in higher fat, or a cat that I inherited. And guess what? Under my supervision, he's lost tons of weight. Hendrix was double the size that he was. I keep my animals at a healthy weight. And I also feed them the proper things. There is so much importance that goes into an animal's diet. Dogs require at least 50% meat in their diet, not carbs. They require 50% meat. They thrive. They do best on 80 to 90% meat of their diet. That's why my dogs have mostly meat in their diet. I feed them whole meats as best as I can. You shouldn't be feeding your dog that shit food that's full of carbs. Eukanuba, Iams, Purina, Pedigree, Science Diet. 90% of what they are made of is corn, wheat, soy, gluten of some kind, preserved fats, all these different disgusting things that are horrible for your dog. They are not made for the dog's health. They are made to put in dietary fillers in the cheapest way possible, so that way they can pass the most basic of necessities so they can put it on the market. And this person sitting here saying, well, a vet is fat phobic. No! A dog's joints and muscles and bones were not designed to carry that much weight. I'm going to showcase right here. Look at these animals. Look at these animals. Do these dogs look happy to you? I have never seen a fat dog that isn't panting just sitting down. I have never seen an overweight dog that doesn't have to waddle everywhere. Every step is pain. Dogs that are young, below the age of 11 years old, should not be laying down all day long and never running around. That's not healthy. But people overfeed their pets out of love. They don't even train. They just give the dog treats. Oh, and that was hilarious. This woman, she's sitting here. Oh, and they're afraid to even, they have to do different training because they're afraid to give the dog treats. Yeah! Guess what? You're not supposed to always use treats with training. It is a bridge, not the solution. That is a tool, a means to an end. It is not what you're supposed to do for the rest of the training on that dog. Because guess what? If you only use treats in training, the dog doesn't listen to you. Unless you have the treat. Is that what you want? An animal that only obeys you when they get the goodie? That's not training. That's not. That is a exchange of goods. The dog does what you want and you give it what it wants. Nay, nay. A dog should be willing to do what you tell it to do with or without the treat. That's called obedience. That's what you're supposed to be training the dog to have. You don't have to like that, but that's the truth. Anytime you see an abundance of legumes, beans, any kind of grains or gluten, they are not good for your pet. And that's what this person's trying to say. Oh, well, we're shaming it for that. You know what? I understand that maybe it's difficult. But there are a lot of people out there today that offer very affordable versions of the raw diet. And everybody lives near at least one Mexican or one Asian market. They are everywhere in this country. I live near 2 Hispanic markets. And guess what? They sell offal. Offal is fantastic for your pets. If you don't know what offal is, it is organs. Anything internal on the pet, on the animal rather. So hearts, lungs, kidneys, livers, even digestive tracts. Anything you can get and dehydrate or mush up to give to your dog or cat, they're fantastic. My animals love chicken hearts. Chicken feet are fantastic. Dehydrated chicken feet and duck feet are great for dogs because it gives them nutrition, but in a whole and healthy way. And guess what? You can afford it. You just got to be smart about it. So you can't afford the already pre-done dehydrated chicken feet. But you know what you probably can afford? The 2 pounds of chicken feet from the Hispanic market. Because guess what? Whenever I go to the Hispanic market, they sell them. I believe I can get 3 pounds of skinned and declawed chicken feet for like $10. And if you already have a dehydrator, which is not that expensive, you can go to Aldi's. They sell them for $15. You can go on Amazon. They sell them for $25. Some of them are real fancy too. And you can dehydrate your own chicken feet. I know, I've done it. I did it with a dehydrator from the 1990s with a big crack in the side, and it still worked. Chicken hearts are only $5.99 for a little pack. And that's for the dehydrated ones. Or you can go to Walmart. Walmart does sell chicken feet, livers, and hearts. I will say this though, the feet still have the skin and claws on them, so it's a little extra work. You have to soak the feet, take the skin off, and then you have to cut off the claws. Oh no. Extra effort. Such shame. I am so tired. I am so tired. I am so sick and tired of people finding ways to excuse being fat. And they use now their pets. Newsflash. Your dog is not a human. You cannot compare the two. Humans, while we shouldn't, are at least slightly more adapted to carrying extra weight. Dogs are not. Dogs are not. They hunt all year long. They do not carry blubber. They do not carry fat. Animals that do carry blubber, let's see. Seals, polar bears, whales. Are you catching on to the idea here? Where are all those animals located? In extremely cold climates. Typically, they're swimming in Arctic waters. They're all in the water with their blubber. Do you know who's not? Fido. Spot from down the street. Your adorable little Roddy with the head tilt. No, they don't need that. And I keep sitting here. The dogs you'll see the most that have these problems are small breeds. Because again, I say, we have stuck all of that metabolism into a teeny tiny little vegetable. Little dog. And we sit there and this woman's sitting there going, well, they're genetically predisposed. Okay. That's literally because you're not doing your job as an owner. You're either not exercising your dog enough or you're doing the improper diet. So yeah, you should be shamed for that. You are literally 100% in control of what goes on with that animal. There is nothing you do, nothing that dog can do without your say-so. So anything that goes wrong with that dog due to outside sources is your fault. I'm sorry. And don't come at me, oh, well, I'm poor, well, I'm this. I'm not saying that poor people shouldn't own pets. What I am saying is, if you are able to come into my comment section and make a comment on my video, then you have enough money to at least own a computer or cell phone. And if you have enough money to own a computer or cell phone and pay that monthly bill, then you have enough time and enough know-how to Google and research what your animal needs. You have the time. You have the ability. And there are ample resources. So don't sit here and say, oh, you're being fatphobic. You're shaming me. No. No excuse. You don't get an excuse. Do not let people like this woman who have made a fucking playlist out of this bullshit. You know, Gothix said it to me about this exact case. The internet has granted way too many people the ability to feel like their opinion is important. And I know maybe that sounds a little hypocritical, but in this situation, I agree. Because this woman, in the utter arrogance of what she says with her little winks and her fatphobic, and this person's not going to change their mind. They're going to be a jerk no matter what. No. They are calling you out on bullshit and you don't like it. And because you're on TikTok where you can make 3-minute videos and only get 2-sentence responses, and easily you can shut down people from either tagging you or seeing you or anything like that, you get to live in your bubble. And now you want people to sit there and stop being fatphobic about dogs. Why? Because it hurts you to hear it, because then you have to start thinking about why you might have a hard time losing weight. Because a lot of people who have a hard time telling their dog no tend to also have a hard time telling themselves no, or even possibly yes. I have watched, if you ever watch It's Me or the Dog, okay, you will see dogs that are very they have no obedience training whatsoever. They misbehave, they have terrible eating habits, and it's always the same thing. The owner goes, well, I just can't tell them no. And many of the owners tend to be people who are like super health conscious or very social. They're someone who restricts themselves in some way. And it feels like they put that onto the dog. I can tell myself no, but I don't have to tell my little fluffy no. To me, that's why you feel shamed. Because you know you're projecting your own issues onto your pet, who unwittingly has to suffer for it. Do you know one of the biggest reasons why cats are horrible being overweight? Matting. Let's start with that. Because cats have to clean themselves. Their tongues have little hooks on them specifically designed to detangle and clean their fur. When a cat stops being able to clean themselves, you will notice several things. You'll notice an oily texture to their fur. You will notice matting, hair loss. There will be a smell involved. They can't clean themselves. They can't clean their bottoms. And as a result, they end up having a lot of health problems purely from that. And they end up being in a lot of pain. Let's not get into the fact that, you know what? Here's the biggest kicker of all. See, because I know a lot about dietary things with cats and with dogs. You see, and I recorded this in the last video, so I'm going to input it here. This is Orion. Okay, guys? Look at Orion. Look at my big boy. Orion is 110 pounds, but he's all muscle. He's a big dog. But he has healthy fur. He's got great muscle tone because I feed him meat, and a lot of meat. I make sure that meat is in his diet all the time. I make sure that when he gets treats, it's antlers or collagen or pig skin. I make sure there's things that are digestible but also healthy for him. Pizzles and other things like that. Trachea that is braided. Excellent things that help his health. Now here's Greta. Greta's only 50 pounds. But once again, She is a very healthy and muscular 50 pounds. And I get shamed all the time for the weight of my dogs. I get told that my dogs are too skinny, that my dogs are unhealthy. But you know why my dogs are so healthy? Because I don't touch any of the shit food that exists in a lot of the mainstream name brand foods. Please do your research on them and the first 5 ingredients and what's in them, because that is vital to your pet's health. Research what your animal needs, including the breed. Look into your breed. Does your breed have a higher chance for certain diseases? Does the breed of your dog, or breeds if you have a mixed breed, does it have a higher chance for certain illnesses, for certain problems with their joints and bones? Look into these things. They're vital and they're important for your pet. And you know why I am so careful about cats? This is Zorro. Now, if you have watched me for any long period of time, you know who Zorro is. But if not, I will give you a backstory. Zorro is going to be 14 in June. And as of right now, Zorro is the oldest living pet I have ever owned. Before that, I didn't know cats could live past 11 years old. Why? Because all of my cats from when I was growing up died from diabetes, disease, organ failure, blindness in some cases, and all of them were heavily overweight. And that was because I fed them according to the packaging of the mainstream food. And we just assumed the cats just got fat. Because we didn't do any further research, and we thought it was cute. Overweight cats. All of our cats had problems. One of them, she was slowly declining. She's tried to stop eating, so we were having to force feed her every day. And then one day, we found her in the basement after looking for hours. We found her in the basement, huddled in a puddle from a leak in the basement. She was blind and her organs were shutting down. They've had seizures, disease, all due to their weight. I am so anal retentive about diet and fat pets now as a result. These are 3 different cats from 3 different litters, different ages. They were not related in any way. The only thing that was the same is that every cat died at 11 years old, and it was due to their weight. So don't sit there and tell me that there are thin, it's the exact same verbiage. She was using the exact same verbiage that the Vopo uses, and it's disgusting. It's like really disgusting. There are thin dogs that are unhealthy. No shit. Yes, there's a thin dog that could have a disease, but don't sit there and go, and there's overweight dogs that are perfectly healthy. No, it's just that dogs can't tell you what's wrong, and 9 times out of 10, if someone's got a fat dog, they're not going to the vet. Point blank, they're not going to the vet. I know, Penny. Everyone knows about this little stinker. Everyone knows about her. She weighs 6 pounds. That's it. And she is a very healthy cat, despite the fact of almost dying from some random illness that no one knows about. Hey! But this is a 6-pound cat, guys. That's it. That's what a 6-pound cat looks like. Does she look like she's dying? But I'll get told she's too skinny. There you go, baby. It's not shaming if you're pointing out abuse. And trust me, the rescue community knows better than anybody. It's abuse. It may be abuse through love, but it's abuse. You should be shamed for having an overweight dog if you are the reason they are overweight. If you're giving them the bad food, if you're overfeeding them, if you're giving them table scraps, if you're knowingly not taking your dog out and exercising them, you are loving them into an early grave. And they are in excruciating pain. I promise you. Many people do not understand how animals operate. They don't understand their language. They don't understand how they communicate. They humanize everything the dogs and cats do. So they misinterpret what they're trying to tell them. And 9 times out of 10, when I tell them afterwards, people are shocked or angry at me for pointing it out. You get a lot of animal activists in the comments, and I know it sounds shitty, but almost all viral videos you see about animals, usually they're animals in a lot of pain. People just don't understand. And so rather than acknowledge the truth of it all, we're just going to wave it away as, that's being fatphobic. And that is being hateful against, because they're so afraid that their dog might get fat. You should be afraid. You should. You should be very afraid of your animal getting overweight. I'm sorry, but it's true. Don't have what happened to me happen to you. Don't do to your animals what I unwittingly did for the first 18 years of my life. The animal can't tell you they're in pain. And people assume if they eat and they go to the bathroom and they have a comfy spot to sleep, that nothing can be wrong. That is not the case. That is not the case. Please start doing your research. Please stop listening to idiots like this moron savant on TikTok, who are so busy trying to placate other fat people to make them feel better about being fat, that they are now unwittingly, or even knowingly, going to make other animals suffer and put your pet at risk so that way you can feel better about being fat. I want you to think about that. That's what this boils down to. This is forcing people to lie to themselves about what is healthy for their pet just so they can feel better about their own shortcomings. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to sit aside for that. I will not sit aside for it. If there's one thing God put me on this earth to do, it's protect animals, and I'll protect them from people like her. Happily. That's all I had to say about it, guys. Keep an eye out, because I'm going to be doing those pet videos very soon. I've got to get them up. I think I'm going to just overload the end of December, which is a bunch of videos. Stay tuned, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, if you like that video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, help me out with that algorithm. I want to first off thank all of my patrons. You guys are amazing. You help fund me. You help me do this. Thank you to Lisa, John Quinn, Sherry Molosky, Emil DeVry, Edie, Anime Chan, Lady Derpy, Choco Hooligan, Amelia, Esteban, It's Brentley, Gina Cena, Rox, AJ Larre, Jenny Eller, Selma, Sarah F, and Pink Dolphin Milk 65. Guys, if you want to join my Patreon, it starts as low as $1 a month, goes all the way up to $20, whatever else you want to give me. And we have a lot of different good perks. You can get drawings from me, you get patron exclusive artwork, and I try to get my videos out as early as possible to my patrons, although I have been failing a bit lately. Don't forget, right now, guys, it is at No System. We have the 12 days of No Sismas, which is really awesome. It is the first 12 days of December, and from December 1st to December 12th, we have a featured item or a featured collection in the store that is going to be 20% off everything involved in that feature. So 12 days of savings. Make sure you check up on it. And also our 12 days of No Sismas contest. If you, any of my followers out there, have bought anything ever from No System, make sure now is the time. Post on your Twitter, your Instagram. Make sure that you are posting about your stuff. You wearing your No System gear. Tag No System in it. Use the hashtag There Is No System or the hashtag No Sismas. That is NOSYSMAS. Because that enters you into a contest with 3 grand prizes, guys. So make sure you keep up on that. And that contest is going till roughly the end of December. I'll make sure to get that date later. I might even put it right here on screen. So remember, go to nosisnose.com. That is nosisnose.com, and get yourself the deals that you need for this holiday season. And here is all of my social media if you enjoy my artwork, if you enjoy my rants, and if you just enjoy me. You can follow me on all of these different networks. I am like fly poo, I'm everywhere. Don't forget to check out my older videos or my most recent video, which will be right here. And otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. And don't forget to tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. So guys, I love you. Be safe. Have a wonderful day. Bye.